Reg, julle ons kyk dan vandag na bladsy 79 tot 81. As julle onthou in die laaste gedeelte waar ons was, het Fiela na die magistraatskantore toe gegaan in Nysna en daar het sy die skoonmaker gesê om die magistraat te sê dat Fiela daar is om met hom te praat oor 'n probleem wat sy het. Die skoonmaker het toe mos nou vir die konstabel gesê dat Fiela 'n klag wil hê teen die magistraat en die laaste wat Fiela gepraat het, het sy verduidelik wat presies die probleem was van Benjamin wat weggevat was en dat hulle gesê het hulle sal hom terugbring, maar dat hulle hom tot nou toe nog nie teruggebring het nie. Goed, dan gaan ons aan. Die konstabel sê dan praat jy nou van die wit kind wat agter die berg gehaal is. Fiela sê, ag Here baas, ek het op jou gesig gesien, jy's 'n wit man wat van dinge sal weet. Dis van die einste hom wat ek praat, van Benjamin Komuti, die Hanskind wat ek soos my eie groot gebring het. Op band sê Fiela dan weer, seil Fiela, seil. In gewone spraak, as baas net kan help om tot by die magistraat uit te kom, sal ek van daar af self regkom. Wag net 'n bietjie. Die Fiela sê dan aan die skoonmaker, word jy gehuur om die besem so krom te lê? Skoonmaker sê, ek staan maar sommer die wêreld in deurkyk, antie. Dit lyk my hy gaan vandag verkeerde kant draai. Pas op dat ek jou nie van die verkeerde kant af bykom nie. Ek sal die magistraat sê, jy staan in aas na ander se besigheid. Die skoonmaker gee 'n snork en gaan vee uit. Pause. Konstabel en die skoonmaker kom terug. Konstabel is baserig. Luister vrou, die magistraat sê die saak is afgehandel. Die kind is aan sy ouers terugbesorg. Here baas, wat sê jy daar? Ek was by toe die bosvrou kom kyk het, of dit haar kind was of nie. Sy het hom onmiddellik uitgeken. Dit is hy. Nee baas, dit kan nie waar wees nie. Ek was daar, dis waar. Baas, ek staan voor jou en het voel vir my jy het 'n vonnis oor my uitgespreek. Maar dit vlam in my, want dit kan nie waar wees nie. Die magistraat het hom tussen 4 ander kinders van sy eie grootte laat staan en die vrou het hom nogtans sonder 'n oomblikse twyfel uitgeken. Ek was by. Dit kan nie wees nie. Dit kan net nie wees nie. Laat ek self van die magistraat praat, baas, asseblief. Die magistraat is besig. Jy kan hom nie sien nie en die saak is afgehandel. Konstabel en skoonmaker af. Fiela op band. Net so. Afgehandel. Verby. Soos afsterf sonder groet. Toneel 4. Die ligte uit, ligte kom op, die toneel in die bos, Lukas kom op die verhoog en Elias is agterna. Elias sê, jou klein blikskottel, waar die hel dink jy is jy op pad heen? Lukas skrik groot en begin hardloop. Elias gooi 'n osriem om sy skouer en trek hom vas. Jou klein angel, hy gaan sit half op hom. Probeer nou weer weghardloop dat ek sien. Asseblief, baas, asseblief. Elias is woedend. Wat? Wat het jy daar gesê? Hy slaan hom met die punt van die osriem. Asseblief tog, Eina, asseblief tog wie? Hy slaan hom. Asseblief wie? Asseblief oom. Oom, asseblief wie? Ek slaat jou vrek, sê. Asseblief, asseblief. Wie sê ek? Ek weet nie. Jy weet nie. Ek weet nie. En hy begin huil. Ek is jou pa, dis wie ek is. Sê dit. Sê wie ek is. Sê wie ek is. Pa, wie is jou ma? Ma, wie is jou broers? Willem en Christoffel. Wie is jou suster? And then we'll end there. Good. So, like we said, Fiela was speaking to the constable about the issue, and the constable asked about the white child that was collected on the other side of the mountain, or fetched on the other side of the mountain, which is then obviously talking about Benjamin. Okay? This part here, Fiela is kind of, shall we say, buttering him up. She's like, I saw from the moment that I knew from the moment I saw you, you are someone who knows what's going on. And then she goes on to explain, but when she reaches this part here, where she says, dis my Hanskind, wat ek met my eie hande groot gebring het, she realizes, but you know what, you are getting boastful again now, Fiela. So she reminds herself, sail, Fiela, sail, meaning be humble. Okay? So then she says, if you can only help me to get to the magistrate, then that's fine. Okay. So the constable then leaves to go and see, obviously, if she can speak to the magistrate. Fiela then says to the cleaner, because the cleaner has remained behind and he is obviously still trying to find information about the thing. She says, "Are you being paid to just stand there?" And then the skoonmaker uses, shall we say, a simile or an idiom. He says, "Ek staan maar sommer die wêreld en deurkyk aan. Dit lyk my hy gaan vandag verkeerde kant draai." Okay? So basically what he's saying is, I'm looking at the world today and it seems as if it is going to turn the wrong way around. Meaning, um, this is not going to end well for you. You're not going to get the answers you're looking for. You're not going to get helped. Um, you're not going to get your child back, anything similar to that. Okay, so it's basically saying that there's going to be a negative outcome to what she's been trying to do. Fiela then tells him, "Watch out that I don't get you on the wrong side," meaning I'm going to slap you, basically. The skoonmaker then leaves, and then there's a little pause, and then the constable and the skoonmaker comes back. Now, very interesting. Up to now, the constable has been kind of, shall we say, nice. He wasn't mean or rude to Fiela in any way up until now. And now he becomes bosserig. Now he becomes bossy. Now he becomes all business-like. And you know what? I really can't care less. So, this is probably on the orders of the magistrate. It's probably not the constable himself that wants to be like this. But the constable, the magistrate probably told him, you know what, get rid of the woman. I don't want to see her. And the only way in which one does that is if you are rude to someone else. Okay. So he says the matter has been closed. The child is with his real parents. Fiela immediately goes, "Goodness, boss, what are you saying here?" Meaning she does not believe what is happening. He further explains the whole situation of, "I was there when the woman arrived. She immediately identified as her child," all of those things. Fiela again says that kan nie wees nie, she cannot believe this. Constable again says it's true. And then Fiela says, "It feels as if you have passed sentence on me," meaning like I'm going to jail now, I'm going to be killed now, anything like that. But she carries on to say that vlam in my, in other words, there's a burning in me because I know this isn't true. Almost like, basically, it's like she feels like she is being unfairly sentenced, or she's innocent but being sentenced for someone else's crime, basically. So she says, "Maar het vlam in my," meaning it's burning in me because this cannot be true. The constable then continues to talk about the 4 children that he was placed in between. And then Fiela again says, "It can't be, it can't be. Let me speak to the magistrate myself, please." And then just curtly, "The magistrate is busy. You can't see him. The matter has been closed." The constable and the cleaner then leaves, and then Fiela on tape says or expresses her feelings. She says, "Net so, afhandel." So just like that, everything's over. It's done. It's closed. Like dying without having to greet, meaning she feels as if she has lost her son to death and was not able to say goodbye before he died. So it's almost like unfinished business, it feels to her in that regard. Goed. Then we go over to Toneel 4, scene 4. Now, if you'll remember, scene 4 was, or scene 4 is an extension of scene 2. And remember, in scene 2, Benjamin or Lucas and Nina went to the forest and she showed him the bottles and everything, and then he promised her 5 shillings, and then he asked her to show him the road to the Lange Kloof. Okay, so she did that, and then he started to run away, and Elias went after him. Okay, so this scene, Elias caught up with him. So the lights go out, lights up. Scene in the forest, Lucas is on stage and Elias is running after. Then remember we spoke about words like blikskottel and in here angel. Okay, those are words that are not really able to translate, but it's like you little bugger and things like that. Angel we can we can translate to the sting of like a scorpion or a bee. So it's something that causes pain, something that causes turmoil. So by saying here jou klein angel, it means that he is someone or something that is causing pain or trouble to Elias. Okay? Then Lucas does the very wrong thing after Elias has caught up with him and is basically sitting on him, because now what happens is um, Elias, yeah, Elias is asking him where is he going, and Lucas says asseblief baas. Okay, now obviously we spoke about this many times before. The word baas refers to colored people or people of color who then address white people. So obviously because Benjamin, or Lucas in this case, grew up with Fiela and her family, um, it is clear that he addresses white people as they would address white people. And now, Elias being under the impression that Lucas is his son, and now his son is calling him boss, that is something very bad. So Elias becomes extremely angry. He gets furious with Lucas, and then he asks him, "What did you say?" And he beats Lucas. In this part, remember in the previous part as well, we saw some of Elias's anger issues coming out, his abuse towards his family, where he was pulling Nina by the hair and shaking her by the shoulders and all of those things. Now we see it go a little bit further than that. He is beating him with that osrim, that belt, that piece of leather that they are using. And as you continue on here, you will see with every answer Lucas gives, he beats him. Okay? So he says, "What did you say then?" Poor Lucas says, "Asseblief toch eina, asseblief toch wie, asseblief toch wie, asseblief toch oom," which is uncle. And then Elias is like, "Oom, really? Who is that?" And then he says, "I will beat you to death." And then asseblief, asseblief. And then finally Lucas says, "Ek weet nie." Now, if we look at just the basics of what has happened up to this point, nowhere in this entire act does it say that Elias or Barta explained to Lucas who he is. Nowhere does it tell us that Elias told him, "Ek is jou pa Elias van Rooyen," or Barta said, "Ek is jou ma Barta van Rooyen." We know that he expressed the children's names, or said, "This is your brother Willem, and this is your brother Christoffel, and this is your sister Nina." So we know that they did that, but nowhere does it say that he spoke anything about who he is or who the parents are. So imagine yourself now, we are assuming that Lucas is about 12 years old. Put yourself in the 12-year-old's position. If you now all of a sudden need to go and live with a new family away from the people that you know, and no one ever did the effort of explaining to you what really is happening now, do you think that you would have understood what is going on? Probably not. So this is where Lucas is. He is in a new family with new people, in a completely different way of doing things than he is used to, because he's not used to being abused like this. Yes, Fiela is strict. Yes, Fiela did give him hidings and all of those things like she did her own children, but it was never to this extent of actual physical abuse. And he must be very bewildered at this point. He must be very scared at this point. And then the second time when he says "Ek weet nie," he starts to cry, which emphasizes his complete and utter feeling of, "I can't do this anymore. This is too much for me," all of those issues. Then Elias goes on, and this is probably what he should have done from the beginning, and expressed to him what's happening. So he says, "Ek is jou pa." Okay, say wie ek is. And then he says dad and mom and all of those things. And then the last one there is the sister, and we will finish then with this in the next section.